What's up everyone, OJ here. Welcome back to another video. And SEGA, we need to have a little bit of a talk. And it's about a franchise that you guys have been neglecting for nearly 20 years at this point, and that is Skies of Arcadia. There's the original release back on the Dreamcast in the early 2000s, I think just like 2000, right? And then there's also, or 1999, one of those two. We'll have it scribbled across somewhere here so we can get the date right on that. And then there's also Skies of Arcadia Legends, which was the GameCube port of the original Dreamcast game that I think came out in 2003, if I'm not correct. Might be wrong on that one too. Who knows at this point, but we'll have it correct for you guys. But either way, Skies of Arcadia, the original release, and also Skies of Arcadia Legends were two of the games, or it's just one game, but Legends added in a bunch of extra cool content to it. And there was actually even a canceled PS2 game. The game was supposed to come out on PS2, but it got canceled just because of funding and because of all sorts of other stuff, production, just whatever. It never came out on the PS2, all right? And Xbox wasn't even considered. So Skies of Arcadia, I think this franchise needs to come back, and SEGA, you need to listen to what the gamers have to say. We need to have a talk about this because it's been far too long. Now, on this channel, I love to get into dead franchises or franchises that I'd love to see come back. I mean, we've talked about this before in a previous video that I did where I discussed something like Kid Icarus, or that's not really dead, is it? No, Kid Icarus isn't dead. But anyway, it's kind of dormant a little bit, right? Dormant. But I would say stuff like Mother or Earthbound and also F-Zero, that's kind of dead at this point. We haven't seen the last one in a while. And also Golden Sun. It's been a while since we've seen those. Now, I know that there's been franchises that have been out of commission for longer than that, but these are all really great franchises that have a history to them. And I think Skies of Arcadia is right around in that same time, right? You have the early 2000s type of feel, RPG, trying out a lot of new things. And for those who don't know what Skies of Arcadia is, let's first get into this and why this needs to come back. So Skies of Arcadia is this awesome tale where you're essentially a sky pirate, right? You have areas that are on land and you do normal battle, right? Where you can go in, you have normal magic spells, you have weapons, armor, all of that. You are Vice, you are the commander of a sky pirate legion, you know, or not even really a legion, just kind of your area gets bombarded, then you have to get out of there. It's a big, huge, overarching story. It's really awesome, right? Like, I don't have the time to explain everything in the game, but it's just a great story. You pick up allies on the way, and there's just so much cool stuff in this game. But I think one of the best things about Skies of Arcadia, which makes it unique, even still to this day, is the unique ways of battle. Now, when you battle normally on the ground and everything, it is a typical turn-based RPG that you've seen before. However, they have these other things. They have these sky battles where you actually get to go into your ship and do different types of cannon blasts and magic that are in your ship. It's infused in there, and that was one of the most unique things that I have ever seen in an RPG, especially back in the early 2000s. I never played a game like it. But also on top of that, this is really before the open world game really started getting going, and this game isn't completely open world, right? But it had that sense, it had that feel as if it was an open world game. And if you're talking about back in the early 2000s, it was just an incredible feeling, especially with the discoveries, right? And that's another thing about this game. It wasn't just about the battling, it was about the air parts, right? You had this ship and you just rolled around. Reminded me of Final Fantasy VI a bit, or a Final Fantasy game, but you had these discoveries that you can do and you can locate them and get prizes. And the awesome thing about this game was in the GameCube version of it, you had these new legend battles. You had these new pirate battles that you can go into, and they were super difficult. Well, for the most part, unless you like power level, but either way, they were still very difficult if you weren't on top of your game. And I love that they put that in there. They were like wanted, so you have to go out there like the old school vigilante, like a western, but it was like a bounty on their head of some of the most famous pirates out there. So that was the really cool thing about this game. It had this unique flow to it. It had this type of style that really you didn't see back then, and I think that they can do so much with it in like a modern age. Now, here's the thing about SEGA and the thing about what they're trying to say, and this is the point where we have to say, SEGA, we need to talk about this. We need to talk about this because SEGA, I think, doesn't realize how much clout they can gain, how much excitement that there is if they did somehow bring this franchise back. Now, I know that there's probably concerns from their end, the pricing, how much it would cost to bring a game of that scale over to modern systems, but at this point, you've brought back Valkyria Chronicles, you're doing a million different other things with Sonic, right? Multiple different Sonic games, all sorts of stuff right there. Why not try something new? Why not try to bring back something that's going to reinvigorate the classic market or reinvigorate those 6th generation boys out there? Because many people still consider the 6th generation to be the greatest generation of all time. And for those who don't know, that is the PlayStation 2, Xbox, the original Xbox once they broke into the scene, and also the GameCube, because there were just so many different games from a variety of genres, right? There was first person, people who love first person shooters and all that. It had all of that on the PS2 and also online play. You had hecka RPGs, you had all sorts of things going around. You had platformers, you had action games. There was just so many different genres, so much different variety, and the quality of those were so high. And one of the games that spawned from that generation was Skies of Arcadia, and I think that Sega could really gain back a lot of fans that they've lost if they kind of delve back into this style of RPG, which we still don't see. I don't see a lot of RPGs out there where you're going around in an airship and you're fighting wanted battles and things like that. It would just be really cool if they were to bring this style of game back. But yes, it would be an expensive style of game, especially if they're going to make a brand new Skies of Arcadia. However, they could always test the waters, right, with a Skies of Arcadia Legends Sega Ages, or just Skies of Arcadia Sega Ages on the Nintendo Switch. Just bring that back, because they did say that, hey, we're looking into Dreamcast games, so go ahead and bring that one back, see what people think about it, get a feel of what's going on, and then kind of go from there. We're going on 20 years here. The original release was a long time ago, and I think that older gamers and also younger gamers will appreciate what this game does, because I think that even with it being turn-based and the combat not being as fast as what you'd see with some other action RPGs like a Kingdom Hearts or something like that, I still feel the game has aged very well. Heck, I was just playing it the other day on the GameCube, and it still plays well, it still looks great. Yeah, it's a bit blocky because of the graphics at the time and everything, but the art is still very good and well done in there, and I'd love to explore the vast open skies of Arcadia again if they wanted to bring it back. But we're gonna have to wait and see. 2019 is a big year for the Nintendo Switch. 2019 is a big year just in general. We're having new systems come into the fray, probably being announced at some point, maybe not this year, early next year. We also have the Nintendo Switch completing its 2nd year in March, and then also heading into its 3rd year as well, transitioning into that with a lot of big games planned. Sega could make a huge splash on the Switch with a brand new Skies of Arcadia, or at least a Sega Ages Skies of Arcadia on the Switch and platform. So what do you guys think about Skies of Arcadia? Would you like Sega to bring this one back? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And what game would you guys want me to talk about next when it comes to Sega's historic profile of old school games? Let me know about that in the comment section as well. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and check out the links in the description below. We got Facebook and Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Really helps us spread the content of PlayerEssence across the internet in addition to YouTube. Also make sure you check out our Patreon, Twitch, and YouTube live gaming pages. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Let me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for latest RPG, Japanese, and Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you in the gym for the next video. Peace.